Hello class, I wanted to go over your lesson today for Monday Math. It is about decimal with the place value. And so we will have this chart available for you to plug in numbers to assist you if you should need it, which is on slide 3. So slide 3 is not actually part of the assignment. It is only there as a template if you need to plug in numbers to help you answer anything on the other slides. Okay. So slide 1 is kind of like a DMS. They call it a sprint with Engage New York, but with this program, it is just like DMS though. So now that you guys are familiar with multiplying of decimals by tens, hundreds, and thousands, we know that however many zeros there are is how we're going to shift the decimal to the right that many times. So if you have something with a decimal times 10, then you're going to shift your decimal one time to the right, which would end up in 461 in this case. If you have a decimal number times 100, you would take that number and shift it over 2 places because there's 2 zeros and 2 places. Now, normally with the zeros trick, you'd put 2 zeros, but when you're dealing with decimals, if the number does in fact have a decimal, then it's really 2 places over. So you go 1, 2, and that would leave you with 4,600. And same thing, if times 1,000 has 3 zeros. And so in this case, you would move that same number that we had here over 1, 2, 3 spots. And notice it doesn't have 3 zeros. Why? Because this decimal here is over 1 place. So you really only put 2 zeros over as you moved your decimal to the right. Okay, so that's a little recap here. Now it depends on what you're multiplying by, but it's all going to be however many zeros it has is how many places you move over your decimal. So that's a review of what we've been doing last week and a little bit of the week before as well. Okay, so your assignment, I only gave you 2 of the problems from Engage New York to start you off with, because there is a DMS type thing there. So you have expressed decimals as numerals, which are as numbers. So basically write these that are written out, write them as decimal numbers. So the first one is done for you. So you say 4 thousandths. Notice it's a thousandths. So THS at the end means that it's what? If you look at your place value system here, you have thousand. It does not have a THS. Hundreds, tens, ones, and once you enter into decimal zone here, everything ends with a THS. And the further it gets away from the ones place, the lesser of the value it is. So whereas this place, if you think 1,000, wow, you're getting big up there. It's so much more. It's worth so much more. Yes, that is true with whole numbers, but it is the opposite the further you get away from those whole numbers in decimal world. Because what are decimals? They're pieces. They're like fractions, right? They're not quite a whole. So anyways, coming back over to here, so slide 2, you have 4 thousandths. That has a THS, so that 4 needs to be where? In the thousandths place. So if you need to type, that's why I have this here for you. If you need to type the 4 in the thousandths place, and then just plug in your zeros, and that will show you now. Just pretend you're moving this decimal on down here. So if you don't have anything in the ones place, we always recommend you put a 0 there and then your dot, right? So here's your dot right there. And so that's what the number would look like. So if however you say it is how you write it. So again, this decimal should be right down in here. Okay, so that 4 is in the thousandths place, so you know that that's how you would write that number. And what if you have 24 thousandths? Well, that one can get a little bit tricky, so we better make sure that that 24 is in the thousands. That 4 thousandths, 24 thousandths. So, don't be putting 0.24 because that would only put you in the hundredths place, okay? So that's why I have this place value chart thing here for you. Don't just like I was about to do is highlight and hit backspace or delete. It will actually delete the column, so you just want to take one number at a time. See how it deleted that column? If that happens, just hit undo and you're good to go. Just backspace and backspace. So basically this place value chart is only for your assistance. Now if you come down in here, you'll notice it starts getting into fractions. Well, if you have 46 thousandths, Well, if you're not sure what that number looks like, again, that 6 needs to be in the thousands. 46 thousandths is, so you're going to have your decimal 0.046. So again, I'm so tempted to highlight and delete all of it, but I better not, or you guys won't have your chart there for you. So anyway, once you get into the fractions, they want that as a decimal. Down here, if you have a whole number in front, well, obviously, those are ones, so the bigger numbers are whole numbers, so you need to put those in front on the left-hand side of your decimal, and then your number. Down here, it has to be in words. You see the red arrow, it says words, and so if it's just 5 is in the thousands place, again, if you need to just type that there, 5 is in the thousands, so it's 5 thousandths, but you actually need to write out the word 5. In that case, okay, so 5 thousandths, and this one is 11 and 37 thousandths, and this one has different numbers that you need to spell out. Anytime you see the word or you see the decimal, you need to write the word and. If you don't write the word and, then I don't have a decimal for you, and it is wrong. Okay, so that's basically it for this assignment. On Tuesday is exactly the same thing. So again, we're just working on decimal place value and really starting to transfer those like we would normal numbers. So we know how to do word form, we know how to do standard form. That's what they're asking here, but in this it's decimal form. So that's what that's looking like, and then we're going to be doing some expanded one later on in the week too. So stay tuned for that. Good job.